I think everything's shifting around. I just hope for the riders' sake, like, we've had like great growth over the last 10 years in downhill in riders' salaries. Yeah, there's not prize money, but riders earn really good in downhill. And I'm worried that gets a little bit lost. And also the racing's changed a bit. I mean, it's really hard to be consistent. Like if you go back 10 years, you had like a top 3 rider, top 10 rider. You could say you're a top 10 rider. Now, what is a top 10 rider now? It's like one week you 10th, the next week you 30th, and then you maybe back in the top 10. It's like, it's really fickle now of like where riders position themselves. So it's really hard to sell as a rider going, hey, I am a top 5 rider. Because now it's really hard to guarantee that you're in the top 5 every race. Yeah, you might finish 5th overall, but if you look at those results, they're quite erratic. And so I hope that doesn't get lost. I hope the riders continue to earn well in downhill, and that doesn't get more neutralized.
But I guess you as a team director can hire on like, you're aware that there's so much more competition. Like I can't expect my rider to always be in the top 5 actually. Even though he does 3 top 5s in a season, 5 years ago, there would have been 6 top 5s.
Yeah.
It just isn't there. But you need the guy that's able to do the 3 top 5s.
Sure.
Because the guy that could do the 1 top 5, he is worth less.
And so the racing's so close now.
Yeah.
That's made it the results really erratic.
Yeah, are you okay with 30 in the final? Do you think they should have pushed a bit harder to try to do like 40 maybe?
I don't know. It's like, the racing's still good. You still got the same guys, I would imagine. I mean, it's hard not to watch a race when you got like some of the guys that are in the final.
I mean,
now you have like no protection.
You were case in point. I was like, when I'm tuning in to see Greg, like, yes, he qualifies 35th. I don't care. I want to see him in the final. Yeah. Like, Gwyn was impressive coming back and getting into the final, but like there was a world where it's like Gwyn needs track time to get back up to pace, but they're not giving him the final. So then the field's just getting further ahead.
And getting to the final this season was really tricky because you had 10 guys protected who were all going for points.
Yeah.
And so now they elevate the track speed. Like the pace is really hot and they're like pushing hard. And then you've got like 10 to 30. So 20 riders who are top 30 riders who should be in the final. Now they're riding like conservatively because they need to make sure that they don't scrap, that they've got a solid run and they're in the final. And then you've got like 30 to 60 who are like, hey, I need to just hammer a run in here. And then you've got these like guys popping into the top 30 who are maybe not necessarily a top 30 rider, but were faster in the qualifying round because they're pushing real hard, and like, Hail Mary going to this final.
No, well, that's
and so it makes it like you look like a Benoit Coulage, like his qualifying and getting to that final weren't great rides, but once he got in that final, then he was solid again and pushing the pace, winning races.
Super interesting. Do you think you and some of the riders like felt it knocks your confidence when those top 10 protected guys are hammering a run? So then you like nurse it into the final and you're like, dude, I'm 7 seconds back. Like I'm going to get smoked in the final. And you're like, okay, I was
But the problem is you can only jump so many seconds per run.
Exactly.
So it made it really tricky to race because you're going like, you're 7 seconds back, but you're in the final. Now you can go, now I can race. And I can close that gap. And I jump 6-7 seconds quicker. And the field goes another 4 seconds quicker. So you gaining on the field, but you don't have the time on track to really match pace. So it made it tricky this year racing. It was really
So when I heard about 30, I was like, okay, so if they're going to go to 30, I think there's a fair way to get there because you've just said the byproduct of the semi-final and protection wasn't actually that fair for the field.
Yeah.
So now they got a fairer way. That's going to be super interesting. That is a positive. If you're forcing 30 in the final for broadcast reasons, then you've got to find a fairer way. And we were losing protection. Like, super interesting.
I think the formula going into 25's final is going to be a little more fair than it was in 24, for sure.
Yeah. So you've come through all these different eras. Crystal ball. Like, what does the sport look like in 5 years, 10 years?
Yeah. It's definitely going to be more professional. it's going to keep accelerating. You've seen a lot of electronics on bikes now. And the bikes are pushing even further into development. I think it's great. It's great for the industry. I'm excited. I think it's cool. You got to like once an hour, like over the years, you've just seen the crowd build bigger and bigger there. It's great to see. Yeah, I'm sad we're not going to Fort Williams, but there's other events. Poland was a great venue. So it's good to see the World Cup expand to 10 races going into next season. I think I've missed that period. When I started racing World Cup, I think there was 8. They'd just come down from 10 to 8. And then we went down to 5. And so with more racing comes more opportunity. So you're going to see all the records will break. With more racing, more chance to win. It's going to be an exciting time. If we can maintain it, I hope we can.
Well, 10 races, needing to hire more riders.
More budget. Teams need more money.
Your budget went, are you allowed to say, it went up quite a bit?
Yeah, budgets have gone up. They've
had to. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to guess that the budget has gone up. Like, okay, you've added this many riders. He's in this position. Okay, your budget's gone up.
2 extra races. 2 extra races, 2 extra riders, more staff.
We need outside industry sponsorship. The industry can only handle so much.
And we in all the years, I've never seen it. We had Volvo.
Everyone talks about it. It's not that realistic.
No, I don't know. I don't know if our sport appeals to out of industry as much as we think it should. But it's well sport as the industry, and we can't lose that fact and can't ignore it. But I remember there was Volvo Canada. I don't know what Volvo put in, but they weren't putting in 10 million or 20 million into Canada. Maybe with some leased cars. I don't know.
Yeah, but if they put in $1 million, that certainly helps the budget, right?
Anything would help.
Anything would help.
But that was coming off the late 90s, where mountain biking was supposed to be the next greatest sport, and maybe it didn't turn out to be for the masses. It did for us. That's been great, and. But I haven't seen all that outside industry come into it.
Yeah, I wonder what it is. I feel if we get the storytelling better, are we just so biased that I think and Drive to Survive for downhill could work? Are we just that biased? Because it seems like a crazy sport. If you explain it correctly, you hurtle down the hill at this breakneck speed over roots, rocks, jumps. You only get one chance to do that.
Yeah.
It's pretty insane. Can you just tell that story and make the characters out of it?
I think
we need Sean Palmer back.
I think our sport is amazing, and it's this core sport that's got high energy, and it's you go in the crowd of a World Cup, it's amazing. The amount of fun you have is incredible. But maybe we're just bike geeks and we just love it.
Well, we are bike geeks. I think we all are. Everyone listening, I think hit us in the comments and tell us if we're crazy or just biased. But
it's cool.
If it was going to go mainstream, it probably would have started to happen already.
I really think so, hey.
Does it really need to?
Everyone's going, it could be the next Drive to Survive. There's so many amazing sports out there with way bigger following.
Yeah, we have a lot of people mountain biking, but we're in this niche downhill sport. The reason golf is on Netflix is everyone plays golf. They can understand it. Not everyone can ride downhill. Not everyone can even barely mountain bike.
We compared, a lot of guys compare it to skiing and stuff. But, I went skiing for the first time maybe 5 years ago. And I was just crashing everywhere. But you get up and you keep going and then crashing someone else, and that took out a kid. And but you're falling over. But you go on a mountain bike, you go rent a mountain bike and go up to a bike park or something, and you crash, you get hurt.
Yeah.
Their families generally picking up bikes and going to Whistler, you're going to get hurt. You have any kind of fall over, it's not the same as snow.
No, it's not forgiving. It's not fun. You're in the emergency room with your kid, or your wife. She's like, "This is the worst holiday ever." You're like,
It takes different people,
No, it definitely does. Yeah, that makes sense. We are just bike geeks. You said something.
We're just a bunch of nerds.